Zomato winners, if you're seated and you have a big red sticker on the back of your seat, you are a winner, and I'll invite you to come to the front of the stage to receive your prize. Is there somebody there with a red sticker, a large red sticker from Zomato? Do we have a winner? You don't know. Do we have a winner? Oh, yes? Can I see the sticker? Congratulations, you're a Zomato hot seat winner. Please do come and claim your prize. The volunteer is waiting here for you. Manish Malhotra has changed the definition of fashion in Bollywood. His quest to combine the best of Indian artistic traditions with a modern expression has rendered an entirely new and beautiful aesthetic. This year, he stands at the turn of his glorious 30 years in costume designing and 15 years of his label, Manish Malhotra. He will appear in conversation today with Safir Anand, an intellectual property lawyer and brand strategist who is the author of international books on franchising and fashion law. This session is proudly presented to you by Inox, and please join me in giving a very, very warm welcome to Manish Malhotra and Safir Anand.
Hi, a very warm, lovely afternoon to all of you. It's my pleasure today to have this lovely interactive session, very aptly titled as Manish Malhotra Unplugged. The fun of the session is that we want to talk about a variety of subjects that gives you a lot of insight into Manish, even beyond some of the things that he's known for and he's achieved in his life. And so here goes. So first of all, a round of applause for Manish. In February this year, Manish will complete 30 years of designing, and that means he's a designer now with 3 decades of experience, which does not clearly show on his face and his young looks, but be that as it may. So my first question to you, Manish, is, first of all, welcome to Jaipur, very aptly titled as the Pink City. It's a city that has a name which has fashion in it, so you're in the right place right now. So you're standing at the 3rd decade, that is 30 years of fashion this February. What is the one thing that keeps you going?
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you guys doing? I love Jaipur, the Pink City, because Jaipur has culture, Jaipur has color, and Jaipur is beautiful. And including this print up there, which I was just photographing, it's so beautiful. And thank you for having me here. 30 years also makes you feel much older. And I have barred every heroine on set to call me uncle. They are not allowed to call me uncle, so they call me MM or M. So my new name in 2020 is MM or M. So I don't want to be called uncle by a lot of the young actresses. This is the 4th generation of actresses that I'm working with. And to answer what keeps me going is absolute love for what I do. I absolutely love the stress of it, the weight that I put on constantly, the food that I consume because I'm stressing and thinking, how does this happen? Even just now in the car, I was sketching and WhatsApping a design that Sara Ali Khan has to wear this evening. And so the process goes on. I mean, it's the 4th generation of actresses. You can be really prepared with everything that you do, but there's always that last-minute change that you as a designer think that I need to do this. And it's been, and I think that the other day, that the book that I'm coming out with later this year, and it's about my journey because I want to reach out to all the youngsters out there who dream to be a designer like me. But there are times that I've completely, there are thoughts and there are days that are completely in a blur because there's been so much work that I have done. And I love to work, so I wake up really early in the morning, and I look forward to working. So I'm a workaholic, and give me work, and I'm excited, including a Sunday. So I'm not a weekend person. I'm a work person. I think single-handedly loved films so much. I've loved movies so much as a child that I think it's just come back and given me everything, including me being here today and speaking to all of you. It's all thanks to the movies because I've really loved them, and I continue to work with them. So I think it's that whole love for your profession and love for and passion for what you do.
So, I've had the privilege of interacting with Manish I've known Manish for almost 10 years now. I've had the privilege of interacting with him. You can go to him for a meeting if you're meeting at 1 a.m. He's going to be as energetic as he would be at 6:30 a.m., and which is phenomenal. And for somebody who's been there for 3 decades or 30 years, is there an advice that you would like to share, particularly with younger people and the new generation, on what inspires or motivates you?
Well, I think it's okay to be wrong. First of all, it's fine if you do something which is not working or which you're not proud of. You have to just wake up that next day and say, this is a new day, and I'm going to try my best to rectify things. It will take time. You need patience. You need passion. You need to just relentlessly go on. I think in this entire world of today, everything is very instant. It's like instant coffee, instant picture. Everything is very today, now. But I think you have to give it time. You have to give things time for them to really turn around and start giving back to you. So there were days when I was like, what am I doing? I haven't studied fashion. I just love films. I love to draw. But because I love to draw, I used to practice day in, day out. So I joined a boutique because I was so fond of clothes. And in those days, like 1980, 87, it was a very cool thing to work in a boutique because boutiques had just come up in Mumbai. And there wasn't a design course in Mumbai. So I was like, I don't have the money to go abroad and study fashion. And NIFT had just started in Delhi, and I was like, I'm not going to Delhi, I'm going to work in Mumbai. I also started modeling for pocket money. So I was trying to do all those things that a teenager at that time would ideally want to do. But my interest in clothes grew, my interest in film stayed, and I sketched, and if I look at those sketches or even think of those sketches, even at that time I was like, what am I doing? Should I really become a designer? But I was like, no, I am going to do this because I love to do it. And I would love to come into films because at that time, movies there were great designers like Bhanu Attaya and all of them in the past. There were some wonderful designers. But I think what films lacked at that time was a look. It was all about glamorous and pretty, but there was this whole thing about a look that wasn't there. And I was very keen that I come into films and introduce styling and introduce a look. So it was one of those things. I think I've got away from your question.
Well, you're doing fine. You're flowing. Well, I'll just borrow from what Manish just narrated to you. A lot of success stories around the world are written in garages. They're written by school and college dropouts. And most of the unicorns in the world come from this. I think it is really commendable that somebody who says that I'm not educated enough in fashion has gone to the sort of level that you have. So it clearly speaks a lot about your passion and what energizes you every single day.
But not that I propose that education is not important. There are many times that I have had to make those mistakes, learn, pay a lot more attention, maybe add a lot more working hours. And especially today, today I have a label, there's a business, and I haven't studied business. I was so bad at economics and terrible at mathematics. And I really feel the pinch of that. And I sometimes feel I wish I had studied more. I had studied business, or I had studied economics, and I had studied fashion and all of that. But in those days, it was all that thing of there was no course, and there was excitement about films. And I just went with the passion, and there were photo shoots. And I have to say, I was made to do bizarre things, like a hat with palm leaves, or go make a jacket with feathers. And I couldn't find feathers, and I went into, looking for some artificial feathers to make a jacket of, and I was stitching some leaves on a hat, and my parents were like, "What are you doing? Are you becoming a tailor?" What is it? I said, "There's nothing wrong with becoming a tailor." They said, "That's fine, but are you becoming a tailor? What is a dress designer? What are you going to do? Are you going to make blouses?" And I said, "Yes, I am going to make blouses, but it's something that I want to do." But I have to give it to my parents because they supported me. They said, "If you are fine with this, we are fine with this." In fact, I remember telling my mother that, "What am I going to go and tell my friends? That my son's going to become a tailor?" I said, "But if I want to be a tailor, what's wrong?" And she looked at me and said, "No, there's nothing wrong. If you want to do it, but do it well." So she really, really supported me. In fact, even throughout my childhood, when I was a huge film movie buff fan, and I have to let you know what kind of a movie buff fan. If I've gone to see a film 3 o'clock show, and if I like it, I would start crying. So my mother would ask me, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Because I want to go back." And she would be like, "You have to study." I would say, "No, I promise you I'll study in the night." And then I would tell her I'll study in the morning, and I never studied. But I would go and see that film once again. So it was such a huge, an influence on my mind when I saw color, I saw fabric, I saw songs. So that whole happy vision and all of that, I think just stayed with me and went on to coming into films. And when I came into movies, it was the entire brief on those days used to be, she's the heroine of the film, she has to look glamorous. But what is she doing? Who is she? Where is she from? Nothing. Aapko kaha na ke glamorous hai. So, and that was, I never wanted them to feel I don't know my job. And I was like, okay, I understood it. And I remember a brief, till date I remember it, that she's going for a funeral. She's attending a funeral, but she has to look glamorous. And I kept thinking that she's attending a funeral. And so I would start thinking about it in my mind and saying, what do they mean? What do they mean? And then I understood the meaning of fit. The fit of a garment is important. And that's when I interacted with a lot more tailors, learned about cuts, learned about things that how will this garment fit? How will this garment make someone look slimmer? So it was a constant study. And I remember for a film called Gumrah, which was with Sridevi, and I was very excited that Sridevi is working with me, the late Sridevi, who I absolutely adored. And she was a huge star then. And it was Karan Johar's dad, producer Yash Johar, who was fabulous, and he called me up and he said that she wants you to do the costumes for this film. And I went up to her and I said that, how is it that in our Hindi films, if you're wearing a Western outfit, your hair is really short and it's almost like a bob cut, and the next scene you're wearing an Indian outfit and your hair is really long? How does the hair change from day to day? Whose hair changes? That means you're wearing wigs. It can't happen. So let's work out a look. Let's do like short hair. Let's go to a stylist and cut hair, make a wig probably, and cut that wig. And that's how the concept of a look came on. And so the brief never changed. It continued to be glamorous, glamorous, glamorous. And I would sit and make notes and say, I would make a whole screenplay in my mind. Oh, she's from Bombay. She dresses like this. So this is her hair. This is her makeup. And I got into makeup, hair, clothes, scenes, because I loved film so much. I would discuss with every director, what is that scene? Why is she doing this before? Why is she doing that later? So initially the directors were like, what's with him? Why is he asking so many questions? And some were very offended till I realized they didn't know the story of their own film, or they never had a script. It was only later, by 94, 95, when I worked with directors like Ram Gopal Verma, Aditya Chopra, Karan Johar, all of them who were younger, who had the concept of a script came in at about 95, and you got a script or you got a narration. And I remember Mr. Ram Gopal Verma narrating Rangila to me, and I was so happy that a director is trusting me enough to narrate a subject, and that's how the concept of looks came into films. And starting so.
It's fascinating. So Manish, a lot of people talk about success, but a lot of people do not talk about how not to fail, and they're not necessarily the same because you're not just an ace designer and somebody who's really worked hard, but you're also an entrepreneur. What is it that in 3 decades you would have seen a lot of ups and downs? So many actors have come and gone. There's hardly any actor now, who's been there for 3 decades. What is it that has ensured your survival as the fittest?
No, there are actors. There are all the 3 Khans. There's Akshay Kumar, there's Saif Ali Khan, there's Ajay Devgan, there's Salman, Shah Rukh, and Amir. But yeah, there are lots of technicians that are not around. You don't see the directors, you don't see many of the actors in a way, and you don't see many of the producers. But I think the idea is to consistently reinvent. And I love youngsters because I think they have a very fresh perspective to everything. So all of you all here cheers to all of you all here who have this great, you have this not layered, non-filtered opinion and something new. And I always took that. And especially when I worked with younger actors. And so I also like to travel a lot. I like to go out there. I like to go out in a theater to watch a film. I like to go to a restaurant. I was very keen to come here. I like to see people. I like to see what they're wearing, what they're liking, what they're saying. And so observation, since I'm not educated, observation is my biggest education. And so is travel. And I think a lot of times we all speak so much, but it's sometimes good to listen. And it's very good to see because you imbibe so much. So I think that was a huge teacher in my life. And I always consistently wanted to do something different. There are many times I didn't. There are many times I failed. There are many times I thought I was doing something different, but it turned out to be not so good. And there were also many times that you did a great job in a film and the movie, you thought a great job and the film flopped. So it all went unnoticed. But yet, I think when you, like I mentioned earlier, you consistently go on, you just sometimes, there is a turning around point then. There were also a lot of directors who never really understood, what I was trying to say. And they would be, no, this is how I want it and this is how you have to do it. So I would try a middle path where I would do what they're saying, but yet try to do something new. Times they would get very angry and irritated with me, but many a times they would appreciate the hard work and like, no, I must do this. And you win that confidence because you're willing to work. So I think it's one of those things. So I think for me, if I have to say, travel and meeting and interacting with people, hearing what all the youngsters and the new generations have to say and I think that really helps you in your work.
Wonderful. So, when you look at a movie, for example, there could be a dream sequence in the movie, and the movie takes several months to make. Earlier it used to take years, but several months. Imagine living a life where you have to weave a dream every single day. Every single day you have to cater to somebody who's your customer, who looks up to you to have a sort of a dream, either with a marriage or special occasion or something else. So hats off to you for being able to weave dreams every single day of your life.
I think with me, I've been so fascinated with films and heroines and their clothes and all of that I think I started thinking like an actress. So before they could think, I was thinking that, no, don't do this because this will happen. Or, this scene, if you're doing this, wear that. So I think my mindset became of an actor. And for the young generation of today, which is Janvi and Sara, Ananya, Tara, all these girls who've been barred to call me uncle and call me MM, for them, I think I come with that wisdom and that experience. I also understand what the youngsters like. And I think like a heroine before they can become one. So I think I've started thinking like an actress.
So thank God you're not doing nakras with my questions.
No, I don't have nakras. No, it's not that they have nakras. It's just the demand of the profession. But not that I have their beauty either or their figures. But, you work constantly day to day. You start thinking that way.
So it's beauty with brains.
It's not even brains and not even beauty. It's survival.
So you gave a wonderful speech at Harvard where you said your childhood was all about movies, movies, and movies. Did they inspire the dialogue entertainment from this? No. But how did it feel when you first worked in Bollywood? And has Bollywood evolved and changed? And how is it now? I mean, as an example, earlier when you were catering to a, say, film producer or director, you would make an actress, for example, wear a chiffon sari, and today, and it was all about the actresses, but today you are doing complex characters, you're doing period films where, it's not so easy to conceptualize it. So how is it, what's the Bollywood influence and the evolution role in your life?
First of all, I would like to say I really miss that time when the heroine woke up with full makeup. Lashes, hair. She just woke up to perfection. She was never wrong. Her hair was intact. She wore a beautiful blouse and a chiffon sari. I have made tons of those. In Switzerland, when the hero wore a muffler, trench coat, sweater, everything. But she was in an itsy-bitsy blouse. So I remember in those days, I used to take suitcases of chiffon saris, and we would be in that winter shooting songs, and right after every shot would be like one big shawl that would come over. But I do miss those glamour shots and all those beautiful locations. But I think that, when I loved films so much, I just got into it. I'd never really thought that there will be an evolution. I mean, one wanted to do different things. One wanted to invent and get a new voice there. But it would all happen in this way is something I never imagined. For that matter, I never ever imagined that I would have a label or I would have even a small boutique to sell clothes, because for me it was only about movies. And my friends used to tease me that, in those days it used to feel, oh, when you're 60, you'll be yet making clothes. And now 60 seems so close. So I'm like, yeah, I hope I will be making clothes till 60. So you just realize that age, years, they're all just numbers. If you're loving what you're doing, your life just goes on, and you love to do what you do, and you continue, and things happen, like evolution happened, or actors changed, films changed, and characters changed. And then you want to challenge yourself further, and then Takht, as a film that Karan Johar is producing and directing, is a challenge for him, for me, for all of us acting into it. It's a huge film. It's on the Mughal period. It's got research. In fact, the other day a friend of mine said, I've never seen you so nervous in the recent times about a film and so stressed. And I'm like, no, I'm reading, I'm looking at pictures, I'm looking at fabrics, and it's challenging, it's exciting. And in my 30th year of movies, to get a film like that and work on it, and also work with Sarah and Janvi and all the younger actors, Kiara and everybody, it feels good. It just doesn't stop. The only thing is that you don't know when your day starts and when your day ends. It just goes on.
So that's a very nice sign, because they say if you get nervous, you're doing the right things, and if you don't get nervous, you're not doing enough. So clearly shows that you are definitely doing enough.
I'm nervous sitting here as well. So you're always nervous, and
well,
you always
smiling.
think, and
They're all smiling.
It's not wrong to be nervous. It's not wrong to be stressed. It's absolutely fine. It's good.
Okay, we jump hats now into a question which is more to do with education for the benefit of those who do not know. I would include myself in that. What is the difference between styling and designing? Because when you entered the film, you decided to introduce styling as opposed to designing, and you took the industry by storm in that sense. What impact did it have to take this differentiated path that you chose?
That's a good question.
We'll meditate for a minute.
So I think design is something that you create, you sketch, you think, you put it out there, whether it's for a movie, play, a client, a collection, fashion show. I think what styling is something that you put together a look, which is like maybe shoes are not of the same designer, the earrings aren't. You're mixing something. You could be mixing an international jacket with something that is Indian. When I got into films, in those days, a lot of the Western clothes were all stitched. There's a flower here, even I've done all those things. A fabric flower here, which is matching to the dress, or you stitch a jacket, which is not really looking like a jacket, it's looking like a coatee, and you're just passing it off as a jacket over a dress, and things like that. So I thought there was something wrong there. And maybe a t-shirt should be picked up, and maybe shoes should be the way they are, not necessarily too matching to the garment. And so I wanted to start this whole trend of mixing what I'm designing with things that you're picking up. And that's what styling is. So I kind of, infused costume design with styling. I mean, and that's what I did. So it became styling for a film. And I also was the first designer to probably go abroad and look at things. Because in those days when films changed and the characters became about New York or London, I thought it's very important that the clothes are from there. A character in London can't be wearing a stitched dress made in Bombay. So I thought it was very important to pick up things and give the character a look, which is real, but yet a bit pretty and aspirational.
So it's nice that you had an open mind and you imbibed not only what you created, but also things from the best of the world.
But I have to add here, initially, it was very difficult to convince. I was the director or the producer, actresses got convinced faster, but it was the director who was very, very apprehensive about the mix or what you're doing. But you have to go in by a conviction, one is that, and you have to take a risk. I mean, there were times that it was a big risk that I was taking. I would say, leave it to me, I will do it. If you don't like it, I will change it. But leave this to me, let me do it and show it to you. So I think first is conviction. Second is that heart to take that risk and chance. And also that heart to say, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll rectify it. So that heart one has to have. It's important.
So Manish, in your career, you've interacted with endless number of stars and you've catered to so many. How many films have you done now?
Oh, I think I've lost count. I don't think so. I don't know. Definitely more than 500.
Oh, wow. So you've had what are the advantages and disadvantages of knowing film stars personally? Particularly because when you go to a set and you know somebody, it's sometimes a little, you have to adjust to the personality itself. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of knowing the film stars personally?
Well, every friendship which is genuine is an advantage. But I think that the only thing is when you're working with people who you're friends with and who you care for, I feel the work is double. Because you have to be very professional. Otherwise, something gets affected, either the professional relationship or your friendship. Because we say they are different, but many a times they do come into each other's path. And for me, I know when you see a picture, you feel, oh my God, he's friends with so-and-so, so they are wearing his clothes. But that never really happens. That can happen once, that can happen twice. But if you are not delivering, or if you're not putting your heart into it, no one's going to really risk their career and wear bad clothes because you're their friend. And it will be wrong of you to expect that as well. So if I do a film for a friend, I'm actually even more stressed because I have to deliver. I can't say, hey, listen, I was with you for dinner last night, so your outfit is delayed this morning. That can't happen. In fact, there were many a times I would have to go back and work the entire night. So I think it's a double stress, according to me. It's not that easy. And you just can't let one get into the other's path. It's a very, very thin line. And it's been many years that I've worked with, because I consistently worked and I put my heart and soul into it to my best ability. Also, with your journey, you become friends with people. But I don't think you can ever let each one, cross that path of professionalism and personal relationships. So
that's a great takeaway point for people to have a dividing line between professionalism and your personal relations. For those of you who have seen a fantastic play called Mughal-e-Azam, have you seen a play in India called Mughal-e-Azam? I'm not sure how many of you know this, but Manish designed the costumes for the play. How many costumes were there in the play?
So there were 550 costumes in that play. And when Feroz Khan, who's a very respected director in the world of theatre, came to me, and it was Mughal-e-Azam, which is one of my most favorite films. And I got so excited, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be making clothes for Salim and Akbar, Anarkali, Bahar Begum. I mean, those characters that I loved in Mughal-e-Azam as a film, and it's one of my most favorite films. I was very, very excited. But the craft was completely different, and the technicality to a film, which I didn't realize. And I didn't realize that in a play, there's always an understudy. So if there's a Salim on stage, there's a Salim in the wings. And costumes for all of them are required. The change time is 30 seconds, 1 minute. So it was something that I hit me. And And I think the play was premiered at the NCPA Mumbai. I think I lived 10 days before that in NCPA. I mean, it used to be like morning to night, continuous work, seeing the actors perform on stage or the dancers perform on stage. And the costumes for the dancers were also very elaborate. So it kind of, it was a very, very big learning experience. So that's one thing I really, really enjoy is learning. I don't think I've ever approached anything in my life saying, oh, I know this. You know what, don't worry, I'm going to make you this amazing outfit and you're going to look fantastic. I don't think I can ever say that to even a bride that I meet. I say, I've understood what you're looking for, I will work on it. So till date, I say that. I can never ever say, gorgeous, beautiful, you're fantastic, done. I just can't do it. So I always feel, let the garment speak. Let the person try it, wear it. It's all about their feel, right? So I think it's always good to keep learning and never to feel that you know it all. So the entire play was a huge experience for me and something that I really look back with, and I cherish that experience.
So I'll share with you two quick anecdotes from this play that Manish may not have elaborated upon. First part which he did is, and many of you may not know this, when Manish lives in Mumbai, the play was staged in Mumbai, yet Manish chose to check into a hotel. And when I asked him, why would you do that? Because you have a car, you can go back to your home. He said, I don't want to waste even 1 minute of production time. So if they need me, I should be there. It's a very big venture. That just talks about commitment. The second thing is, when he came to Delhi, he said, come, let's go and see the play. So I went with him, saw the play. Then the next trip, he said, come, let's see the play. I said, okay, we just saw it. We've seen it in Bombay again. I went to see the play. The third time I went. So I was wondering, why is he so excited? So Manish goes and sees the end result or whatever he makes, whether it is on a bride or it is on the theater or a thing, rather than just thinking that he's done away with. He tries to improvise, he tries to improve. And I think you did change something in the...
Yeah, I kept calling the clothes back and saying, let's add the flair, let's the flares less, the colors, because it starts biting me. And I feel that I'm not being sincere to my job. So I have to say what I feel. So I have to say this. When I started working with Sridevi, and she was someone who spoke less and also concentrated on her job, she was a brilliant, brilliant actor and completely committed. And I was so new and intimidated. In those days, it was not like you walked into an actor's, hey, what's up? All these things were not there in those days. I mean, people were like, you knock and enter or not enter because makeup's going on and things like that. But my face reflects everything. I'm liking something, not liking something. So it just used to show on my face till she one day turned around and told me, you can say it if I'm not looking good. We will change that. And you can also change what you're saying, So it kind of, I think when you're expressive and if I feel something, I have to say it. There are many times in my store, they will say, please don't say this border has to be changed because this outfit's delivery is tomorrow. I will yet tell the bride, I don't like this border. I think we need to change it. And my store will be giving me dirty looks. I'm like, don't worry, I'll get it changed overnight. So I just think that, I just feel that's something that's also helped me in my long friendships with many stars or people I work with, because I'm really upfront and honest about things. Listen, I'm wrong. This has not turned out well. I'll change this. Or many a times that what you've done is not working or it's not wrong. It's not right. And I work with my family. My brothers work with me, who are elder to me. My sister-in-law works with me. And my mother was very nervous that she says, your brothers are going to work with you. Is that all okay? And are you fine with that? Because I don't want anything to happen. And I was like, no, I want my family to work with me. Don't worry, I'll be really honest with them. And I think we all have a relationship today where we are very honest with each other. And we say, this is not working. This is wrong. What you said that day doesn't work. This has to be done. And I think when you're honest and you say what you have to and it's out there, it just makes it much lighter and much easier, at least for me. So that's another way, that's another tip. Make it lighter, easier. Say what you feel. And it's so much nicer.
So we are at the Literature Festival, and authors have writer's blocks. So have you ever hit what is called as a creative block, where, for example, you have a show coming up or you have an important event coming up, and you're sort of really stressing your mind to think how you would deliver on that? And how have you tackled these creative blocks?
Many a times. many a times you wake up in the morning and you feel, oh my God, I don't know what to do, and there'll be a whole office waiting there looking at me for answers. But that's your work ethic. You wake up and you go. And I listen to music. I listen to music a lot. It's my mind thinking. And many a times I tell my assistant, I don't have this answer right now. You know, the new thing about WhatsApp is, right? All the people who work with you just send you a WhatsApp message. They think the work is done. And you are God, and you have to answer it then and there. Okay, this is the solution. So I tell them, I said, I need time to come back with this solution. I don't have this answer right now. I'm not creative on this right now. I need that time. So I think that honest approach really helps you. And sometimes you need a break. You need to go and watch a film with friends. You need to read a book. You need to travel. You need to sit out. Like, I woke up at 6 a.m. today, and I was enjoying that beautiful weather of Rajasthan. Beautiful, beautiful Jaipur, the sun, the birds, the peacocks, everything. And that's therapeutic. You might not think of a design then, but maybe I might think of a design tonight. I have a show on the 1st of Feb. So now this point is going to stress me. Yeah. Like, oh, I need to finish so many things. But I think it happens. Sometimes it doesn't happen. And like I mentioned, it's okay to fail. It's okay to do something wrong. You can wake up the next day or the day after to doing something right. So it happens with all of us.
So wearing, although you do both men and women, but for example, wearing a Manish Malhotra lehenga carries so much of sentiments to it. And every single day you are catering to so many people, and you're becoming like a custodian of multiple sentiments or what they look up to you. Don't you sometimes feel that you could get carried away and complacent, or, you know, success does hit people? How do you balance all this in your life?
Well, first of all, it's just not me. There are so many other designers who are doing fabulous work. And the fashion industry as an entire industry has seen a good, beautiful boom in the last few years. And there are so many people who, you know, whether there are young kids abroad or there are youngsters who are looking, oh, I want to wear this for my wedding, this for my Sangeet, all of that. So when you look at it as an entire origin of design and, you know, people who are wanting to wear that, it's a good feeling. And I think that, I mean, I approach everything positively. I approach everything thinking that everybody has the right to coexist, and it all happens around us. And you continue to enjoy the moment of all the youngsters, you know, wanting to wear clothes, your Instagram, your social media, all of it. I mean, you have to really enjoy it, embrace it, and yet have that time for yourself to do something focusedly and do something, you know, good. But I think that the whole thing on going to your head and success, and I find success very relative. I mean, if you want to, for someone, success could be money. For someone, success could be fame. For someone, success could be something that they wanted to do and they did it. I mean, for someone, success could be reading a book in the afternoon and not getting hassled. Or for someone, it could be working for 6 months and traveling the world for 6 months. That's fine too. So it's one word which has very, very different relative terms, and I think they're all fine. So all of us, in a way, are successful.
So while I go to my next question, again, I'd like to share an anecdote with you. If you interact with Manish, he creates a motivation for himself in the simplest of things. For example, if he wakes up in the morning, he visualizes the cup of tea that he wants to have, and he gets excited about that cup of tea, even if it's a cardamom cup of tea or anything of that sort. And I think that sort of mental modeling that you do brings in a lot of positivity in your work. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, I think the awareness is really important for all of us to know we have to be aware of our surroundings and everything. But sometimes, even ignorance could be bliss. You know, sometimes you have to just let it be. Your knowledge, your opinions, all of that, and just let it be and enjoy the moment. It could be a book, it could be nature, it could be something that you're seeing, music that you're hearing, a cup of tea that you're having. So I think enjoying the moment is also extremely important. And I think that's what relaxes me.
Wonderful. The next creative chapter in your life is going to be this book. A lot of people are not aware of what this book is about. When is it coming out? What does it talk about? Would you like to elaborate on that?
Well, I've been working on the book with my co-author, Sonal Kalra, and it's been almost a year. In fact, we are running late with it. We should be coming by the end of this year, and hopefully at the next year, 2021 Lit Fest, I will be here with the book. It's about my life. It's about inspiring and aspiring a lot of the youngsters out there who probably feel that that they can't be designers or creative or do something that they want to do, who probably feel they don't have the money for it or they don't have the talent for it. So it's mostly speaking about if you have a mind and a heart and the focus, and if you're passionate about something, it will surely happen for you. So the book's not preachy. The book is quite funny as well. But it just tells you, I mean, it's all about my life and my work and the struggle and the hardships and the hard work and all the happiness too.
Okay, so last two quick questions, and then I'll give it to the audience. You have a great influence on social media.
They already have their hands up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you have a great influence on social media, and if you were to describe yourself in a single hashtag, which is not fashion, you, not the business, what would that hashtag be?
Restless?
Okay, fair enough. But I'll make it interesting. I'll skip my usual question, and I'll put a very interesting question to you. So I'll put a question within a question. Is there a question that you always wanted to be asked at a discussion like this, but nobody asked you?
Ooh, now that's, I have to think on this. Is there a question somebody... No, not really, actually. I kind of, no, not really.
No urge to say something that nobody asked you about?
Urge to say something, urge to say something. Right, now, these days I'm feeling really fat. Do I look really fat? So that's the answer. I'm just kidding. No, I think that, no, I don't think there's any question that I was thinking that you would ask me and you haven't asked me, or everybody should ask me.
Okay, my time does give me 2 more minutes, so I'll just sneak in a quick question. So, Manish, you multitask. You are a fashion designer, you are a social media influencer, you're an entrepreneur, you've launched a home collection, you've launched a jewelry collection. How do you balance time? Because God has only invented 24 hours.
Well, honestly, it's tough. At times, it's like you actually feel, why did I take up all of this? It's difficult. It's not easy at all. It does consume 18 hours of work many a times. It consumes a lot of stress, headaches. I get a lot of migraines. So it is a time-consuming task. It's like very heavy on you at times. But again, I have chosen it. And I am the sole responsible person on it. And my work ethic says I have to do it. Whether I wake up inspired, whether I wake up tired, whether I wake up, so you just have to get up and do it. But it's tough. It's exciting. I'm restless. I like to say yes. Though in 2020, I've learned to say no. But it's tough. And some things work out, some things don't. But it's a tough journey. But I think I like that. I like that stress. I think after 30 years and still doing films, I definitely like that stress. And after having stores and mainstream, I've yet not been able to leave movies, and more movies have not been able to leave me as well. I think I just like that stress. Maybe in my heart stores, I enjoy it. I think that's what it would be.
Thank you, Manish. And before we wind up,
so much.
I would like the audience to get involved. I know there are too many hands. Go ahead. The lady in the white right there.
I think they picked. I think they said their hands came up first. Pink sari.
Oh, we'll let Manish pick then.
Thank you, MM. I have a question to you. Nowadays it seems to be cool, you have to be wearing the itsy-bitsy Western dresses. And I think, forgive my impertinence, I think Bollywood is largely responsible for marginalizing our cultural icon, the sari. Do you think that's correct? And would you go back and make corrective action in your movies henceforth?
Well, I love saris. But the characters nowadays are not generally necessarily wearing a sari. But I have to point this out here, that fashion has changed. And a lot of the influencers, like actors or stylists and designers, have really been instrumental in the last few years to bring the sari back. I mean, if you see a couple of years ago, to wear a beautiful Banarsi or wear a beautiful Paithani or a temple sari was considered like, okay, it's for the older. But today I see a lot of, whether it's kalamkari or whether it's an organic cotton sari, I see a lot of youngsters wearing it. Even in fact, I see a lot of pictures even on social media. So I think there's a big revival of craft and saris, which is good. And I just hope it grows. And I actually hope to see a lot more red saris on the, I'm sorry, I hope to see a lot more saris on the red carpet. So that's something that I would also really, really love to see, because saris are beautiful.
Would you like to elaborate on things that you're doing, for example, with Mijwan and Kashmir and other things?
If I start doing that, then there won't be, others will not ask questions. So let me,
India perspective.
I'm going to go to her first because she picked up her hand first, and then I'll come back to the white.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My question is, being a mother of two, settled, hailing from a conventional family where, I couldn't pursue fashion designing when I wanted to. Father being a doctor, okay, go do something which is more conventional. Now I realize at the age of 34, I want to be a designer, which I ventured into. And sometimes I get stuck when it comes to drapes and cuts. Do you think at this age, when I'm trying to establish a label, it's important for me to go pursue a professional degree in fashion designing? Or your book has an answer, I did hear. You put a heart or soul into it. But do you think there is a tip that you would want to give us where, we can just rock the world as you have done, MM?
Good afternoon. I love the way everybody's calling me MM. I like that. So, so the thing is that, first of all, 34 is very young. I mean, look at it from the stage of 53. 34 is very young. So, so don't think that 34 is old. You can start anything at any age. So it's not a problem at all. And I think that if you're, first of all, I think it's very important for you to know, because unfortunately or fortunately, there's a lot of things out there in terms of design or everything today. There are too many people doing everything. So you'll have to first clear your mind on your vision. You want to be an Indian wear designer, Western wear, you enjoy the fusion. What is it that you enjoy? And then you have to go for it. And I think that age-wise, you're absolutely fine. No, age should never be considered. But I think your vision and your conviction should take center stage here.
So go for it.
Yeah, she wanted to, I think, I'm monitoring this for you from here.
Well, I did opt for the question with...
Hi. Your
Hi.
name is synonymous with Bollywood high fashion. Like, I'm not from India, but I know you. So not I know you, but I know of you. How do you deal with Bridezillas?
If I can deal with actresses for 30 years, I can definitely deal with Bridezillas. I don't think there is any issue on that. I mean, they're excited, they're nervous. Sometimes they want everything in their outfits. Sometimes they are minimal brides. I mean, it's absolutely fine. I mean, I don't think it's a thing. I think it's quite sweet that they're so excited. But a very, very good change that I see in the recent years is that, in the last 2 years, in fact, earlier when the bride came, everybody spoke. Her mother-in-law spoke, her mother spoke, her sister-in-law spoke. Just about everybody added to the design. But today, it's the bride who speaks. The mother-in-law who's paying for it is quiet. The mother who's there, they're all quiet. The bride is so clear which designer, which function, what does she want to wear. So that clarity is so fabulous. And I give the marks to those young mothers who are also allowing their daughters to be. I recently had a mother-daughter. The daughter spoke about her outfit and all that. And the mother looks at her and says, "You're over because I want to order my outfits." So I think that's that lovely change where the brides are very clear on what they want to wear. So it's fine.
Thank you. Can we have a question right here? I'll do it back as well.
Hey, hi, M.
Hi.
I'm Durva, and my friends call me D.
Oh, okay. You're Purva.
Durva.
Durva.
So they call me D. That's why I said M. So my question to you is...
We are sounding very millennial. Because recently I asked my assistant, when did oak become K only? So I said, then what are you all going to be, where's our languages going? What are we going to be doing?
No, you took the cue and said M. So
I want to feel like a millennial.
Now, my question to you is, I remember Karishma Kapoor in Prem Kadi, and her look was a disaster. I'm sorry I'm saying this, but it was. And it is you, if I'm not wrong, changed her look. And that demure Karishma that we see today is there. Now, how did you convince an actress of her, I mean, coming from the Kapoor family, that she trusted you with her look, and today each and every actress trusts you?
Well, like I said, I was so interested in films. I was very inspired by the 70s, all those beautiful colors of the 60s as well. And when I came into films, all the heroes used to put lots of rollers in their hair. The rollers used to be right up till here. And when they opened their hair, the hair used to be till here. I was a big fan of straighter hair because I was very influenced by the 70s. So I was looking for heroines who would listen to me and say, why don't we straighten the hair? But I was very, very interested, I was very interested to get that new voice. So luckily I worked with with directors who trusted me because I was so passionate about it and said, no, let's try this look. And Dharmesh Sachin was the director of Raja Hindustani, and he wanted to do something different with Karishma. And we both were, both of us, meaning the director and me, were big fans of movies. So we convinced her, let's try this look out, let's wear a lens, let's straighten your hair. And I think that what convinced her was the conviction. And in Dil To Pagal Hai, Yash Ji was beautiful director. He was a fantastic director. I loved working with him. He was somebody who loved clothes. So he loved minimal clothes, like he didn't want embroideries, or he just went with colors. So that's what we went with Dil To Pagal Hai, and that's how the looks worked here. Thank you.
The gentleman in the white shirt by the pillar, right at the back.
The two here, check shirt, denim jacket.
नमस्ते मनीष जी।
नमस्ते।
मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि क्या हमारे फेस टोन से ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ कपड़े होते हैं जो पर्टिकुलर किसी फेस टोन पे बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे लगते हैं, आप क्या सोचते हैं इस बारे में?
सॉरी?
हमारे फेस टोन से कुछ कपड़े बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे लगते हैं। मेरा नाम विमल शर्मा है।
Well, actually, मैंने कभी इस बात को बिलीव नहीं किया है। अगर मैं आपको कहूँ कि some people think कि मैं डार्क हूँ तो मैं कलर नहीं पहन सकता, या मैं फेयर हूँ तो नहीं पहन सकता, मैं फैट हूँ तो नहीं पहन सकता। मैंने इस बात को कभी बिलीव नहीं किया है। अल्टीमेटली आप वो पहनिए जो आपको पहनना है, और अगर आपको लगता है कि बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हो तो आप अच्छे लग रहे हो। So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है according to me.
Lady in the jacket.
I think she's been
we're giving her a chance.
Hi, Manish. I am Manisha. I'm Colonel Manisha, serving in the Army.
Manisha.
Yeah. Okay, my question to you is what makes these designer outfits so damn costly that, majority of girls here don't afford it and they dream of wearing them? Having asked that question, I want to add, your sari, Manish Malhotra sari, I own one, which was very reasonably priced at one of the sari stores, but I think I was lucky enough to get that.
No,
I never found.
After saying that, don't say that.
Thank you so much.
Well, मैं अपनी बात करूँगा because I think when there's a lot of finishing, there's a lot of manpower involved in embroidery, dyeing, finishing the garment, all of that. It does take many, many hours of work, many more people, which also, then the garment becomes more and more, as you say, expensive, or another price. Then it comes into a retail store where, as you know, retail is expensive, comes electricity and all that. So there are lots of factors that happen. But I get your point. But I think there's always a leveler that happens. And I think that today people are price conscious, and I think for any designer who wants to sell and be customer friendly will be reasonable with his prices.
Yes, ma'am, right here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Both of you all, yeah.
No, right here. First row, or pre-first row.
Hello, MM.
Hi.
I'm waiting for long to ask this question. I've attended a lot of shows of yours in Bombay. I belong to Bombay. But I always wanted to ask this question for you on fashion, sustainable fashion. there's a lot of upcoming fashion designers and young people who are working on bio fashion and sustainable fashion, which is eco-friendly. What's your take on it, and a piece of advice you would like to give to them?
I think that sustainability is a word that is becoming like couture, that's becoming like, it's something that's being used a lot. But for me, I think it's all about, responsibility, responsible fashion. I think for every designer, it is definitely important to be responsible on what they do with their waste. Are they more conscious on that, on the paper, on the garments that they make? And also, I think that it's important that you are conscious. I think for all of us, not just for a designer, I think for all of us, responsibility, being responsible citizens is very important, right? And where in my small way that I contribute to these things is by being very, very particular. I tell my assistants, don't waste paper, be creative, be innovative with the leftovers of fabrics, telling the masters. In fact, recently, of course, my store was giving me dirty looks. There was this bride and her mother who had this beautiful garchola sari, really pretty. I was like, why are you making something else? This garchola sari is so pretty. Don't make a lehenga. Why don't you wear this? Use something that you have which is so beautiful. And that's also answering your question. I mean, there are heirloom saris. There are some beautiful, handovers from our family, that we have. I think that we should, as designers, stylists, or even as people, we should all encourage wearing all of it and in your own the little ways help sustainability.
Yes, the gentleman right here.
Hi, thank you for allowing me.
Hi, of course.
I wanted to ask that being a designer and coming from the fashion industry, so when we have designers like you who are making saris, what's the scope for the other designers who are creating saris? So what is some success mantra would you like to deliver for a designer of saris?
Again, going by what you enjoy. So for me, I work a lot in Banaras. I run an NGO in Azamgarh where we do chikankari work. And then we also do beautiful embroidery from various different states. But I love to add a bit of glamour because that's my ethos of my being a designer or being a brand. So recently, I did this sequin sari because it was a sari, I remember seeing it in my sister-in-law's trousseau in the 70s. In those days, my mother used to say, we have a Banarsi sari and also one sequin sari should be there in chiffon. So I wanted to, do that. And so I kind of made a sequin sari last August, and it got really popular, and a lot of the actors have worn it, and also the clients, because it's a plain, simple chiffon, which drapes beautifully, and it's sequin. But for a person, it might be, oh, that's too much, it's sequin. But for me as a designer, I enjoyed making it. And since I was convinced, and that is the part of my brand or what I believe in, it works. So I think in any kind of design or artwork, I think it's very important to be very close to your belief. And in the earlier days, I remember fashion's gone through phases. I was told for too much bling or sequin and all of that. It's an international trend. From the last year, there's so much of color and sequin in jackets and shoes and saris and everything. So today is accepted. So maybe a couple of years again, it won't be accepted. But I've just gone on with my belief of glamour.
Okay, the last question, the lady right here. Right there, behind you.
Hello, Manish sir.
Hello.
मैं आपकी हक फैन हूँ. सबसे पहले तो आपको वेलकम करूँगी पिंक सिटी गुलाबी नगरी में.
Thank you so much.
आपकी फैन इसलिए हूँ कि मेरा कज़न आपके अंडर में वर्क कर चुका है. आपके इनोवेटिव, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपके पास.
मैंने डांटा था आपके कज़न को?
नहीं, वो बहुत फैन है. वो मुंबई में रहते हैं. उसका नाम अंकित शर्मा है. You know them. I think you know them. मेरा क्वेश्चन आपसे ये है कि आपके पास इतने अच्छे इनोवेटिव आइडियाज़ कहाँ से आते हैं? मतलब कहाँ से वो क्रिएट होती है ऐसी डिज़ाइनिंग, ऐसी मतलब क्वेश्चन सबसे हटके है, लेकिन मुझे ऐसा लगा कि आपसे पूछना चाहिए क्योंकि मैं आपकी हक फैन हूँ और आपसे बहुत प्यार करते हैं.
ओह, थैंक यू सो मच. थैंक यू. बट आई थिंक अगर आप किसी चीज़ को चाहते हो तो आपको उसमें आप उसके लिए उसकी एक तलाश होती है, राइट? आप देखते रहते हो। जैसे कि जब मैं यहाँ आया और मैं अपने टर्न की वेट कर रहा था, तो मैं यहाँ ऊपर देख रहा था, मुझे लग रहा था कि कितनी खूबसूरत कलर हैं, कितना अच्छा प्रिंट है। तो मेरी आँख वहाँ गई, शायद किसी और की नहीं जाती। सो आई थिंक वी ऑल सीक्स थिंग्स दैट वी लाइक इन पीपल, इन थिंग्स अराउंड अस, एंड वो उस वक्त तो इंस्पिरेशन शायद नहीं बनता, बट कभी ना कभी वो आपके पास वापस आता है। तो जैसे कि रानी वाला यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, एंड जिनके साथ मैंने अपनी ज्वेलरी लाइन शुरू की है। तो आज ही मेरी बात हुई व्हाट्सएप पे, उन्होंने कहा कि हम नई जो डिज़ाइनिंग करने वाले हैं, आप आके टीम को क्यों नहीं आज आके मिलते। तो मैंने उनको जवाब में दिया कि मैं रेडी नहीं हूँ मेरे डिज़ाइंस के साथ, मैंने कुछ नया नहीं सोचा है, तो मैं तब आऊँगा जब मैं नया कुछ सोच के आऊँगा, तो मैं जस्ट दिखावे के लिए नहीं आऊँगा। सो आई थिंक वो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि आप चीज़ें को देखें, उन्हें रखें और उसके साथ एक बहुत ऑनेस्ट रहें, तो वो अपने आप फिर आ जाते हैं डिज़ाइंस और सब कुछ आ जाता है।
और मेरी आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट है, आप यहाँ जाने से पहले मैं आपके साथ पिक लूँगी, चलेगा ना? ओनली वन, मी।
100%।
हाँ पक्का ना? ऐसे नहीं कि मना कर देंगे सब लोग, मैं रोने लग जाऊँगी।
मैं आपके यहाँ वेट कर रहा हूँ।
थैंक यू।
Thank you to this lovely audience. We're leaving a little bit of Manish with you today in his thoughts. You already have Manish in terms of all the beautiful visualization that you would have seen. Thank you for all your time and attention, and we hope to see you next year.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
One small announcement before we exit the stage. The Z Jaipur Literature Festival is happy and proud to partner with Air Asia India, part of the Tata Group. And we're raising awareness about the climate by planting a literature forest. This means that we are planting individual trees in honor of the speakers at the Z Jaipur Literature Festival. So I'd like to present a certificate to Manish Malhotra. There will now be an MM tree growing in Karnataka in your honor in the literature forest. Thanks go to Safir Anand for hosting the session and to Inox for presenting the session. Let's give one very large round of applause once more for Manish Malhotra. The next session going on here at the Nexa front lawn at 3:45 is The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper. That session is with Hallie Rubenhold in conversation with B. Rowlett. It will be presented to you by the Rajasthan Patrika Leadership Series here at the Nexa front lawn in 15 minutes.